All right, so here we go. Tuesday, and the moon's going to be void, of course, all day until 11:44 in the evening. We're talking astrology here. We're talking daily-astrocat.com. I'm Shane. Welcome. I really want you to listen to this, okay? Because today's episode is about being prophetic, right? There are some directions that we're going in. We're seeing some things that are happening. Now, just because the moon doesn't have any aspects, and that's what we're talking about when we're talking about a void, of course, moon, that moon has no aspects to it, major or minor. The inconjuncts and semi-sextiles and squares and all that stuff don't really count. And we don't really get into them too much here. But what we do get into, and what we do want to get into with you, is talking about how this void, of course, moon is playing into the whole last quarter of the moon, this whole cooling down phase, because it's going to be new tomorrow. And when it's new tomorrow, that's when we're going to have our opportunity to be doing a lot of different things. We're going to be putting some new ideas out there, but they're different kind of ideas, right? They're going to be a little bit more intuitive in here, not up here, in here. Saturn, Neptune sitting on that point of within the first couple of degrees of Aries, making things very interesting and definitely very much square to this where the sun's at right now. So this is going to be very interesting, and where the moon's going to be at, right? This is going to be very, very interesting. The sun's starting to move beyond that. The moon is going to be moving to that point, and the moon, when it moves into that point in Cancer, it's going to put us in a mood to make us feel like we can move forward. We can do this. We can sense what the limitations are. And that's what the perfect word is for it. Sensing. Is it a doorway? Yes, it is. It's another doorway, right? This is one we're going to be taking. We're going to find other doorways that are going to be opening to us through some crazy numbers and stuff like that. And we're going to be really having we should be having a good time with this, okay? Now, Cancer planets are in conjunct with Pluto. What's going to happen is that this means that Pluto, there's this point right where the Cancer planets are at, where they're in conjunct with Pluto. Once the planets start to come around, Pluto's not going to move very much. Pluto's going to go retrograde and pretty much stay right where he's at. Planets that are coming around in the Sagittarius season will start making sextiles to the Pluto, and where that finger of God lines up, where that yod is going to line up, where it's going to form, we're going to have to go through this on a totally separate show, but there'll be a sextile between the first degrees of Aquarius and the first degrees of Sagittarius, and that's going to point us to where we're going to be heading in with our winter ruminations, right? As we start weathering that winter, this is going to tell us where we're going to be headed. This is going to be way in the future. That's why this is prophetic. That's why we know that this is going to be a very important point for social change. It's going to be a very important point for expanding our understanding and actually reaching out to other places, right? Other places. Where are they at? Where are they at in our mind? Or is it in our heart? Or is it somewhere else? That's a very important point. Can you sense or feel this? That's what I want to know. Can you sense or feel this? Because you're going to feel some of those ambitions, right? But you really can't go there because you're like kind of held back by that Saturn thing. That's what's going to happen. Now, the color is going to be a string of lights in a backyard. The key word is prophetic, like I told you already. Now, visions can replace rapid ideas if you allow them to come to the surface. Okay? Those Gemini things, nope, they're going to come to the surface as something else, right? From inside, coming up to the surface. This is where we're going to be going. You can feel it. We're starting to gather it in, right? We're starting to bring it to us. Temperatures are rising. Don't let yours rise. Don't get hasty. Summer's here, and so is the heat. Temperaments that don't align are due to difference in priorities, differences in priorities, right? If you're not seeing eye to eye with somebody, there's a difference in priorities. That's what it is. There's those temperaments that aren't aligning. Right. It's a very emotional time of year with the Cancer season, right? The moon is there, right? The moon's going to be entering Cancer later on tonight. The moon's in Gemini right now, but that Gemini is like, yeah. The ruler of Gemini, Mercury, is in Cancer, so we know that we're going to be doing this from an intuitive point. Now, be open to what you don't know. Emotional reactions need to be expressed, okay? We just can't go, No, we have to express what it is in some way. Not necessarily words, but we have to indicate how we're feeling to others. Otherwise, they will be using their own feelings and just putting them on you, right? We don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we are heard, and we will feel better when we're heard, right? Look, this is both the blessing and curse of the Cancer season, right? That feeling things so intensely, yet not really being able to say what it is, but we're going to try it, right? Because you got to get that out of your system, okay? Get those things out of your system, because tomorrow is when we're going to begin to thrive. The focused moon in Gemini, that just can't be fathomed by reason, right? We can't make sense of that. That's not going to make sense to us. We're going to feel what it means. I hope that makes sense. And it does get better after the moon enters Cancer, trust me. Okay, it's going to feel very tough, but we're going to be feeling it. Now, in 1374, there was a sudden outbreak of St. John's dance, and it causes people in the streets of Aachen, Germany, to experience hallucinations and to jump and twitch uncontrollably until they collapse from exhaustion. Now, this could have been like an ancient hokey pokey or something like that. It was said that dancing was outlawed back then, and maybe this was just a good excuse to cut loose and moonwalk through the streets of Aachen, right? Possibly. Interestingly enough, it doesn't show any of the classic, some of the other side effects like that ergotism had, that Oliver Sacks put forth as that reason for the Salem witch trials, and folks eating bad grain and then just hallucinating like crazy. But it is, and hey, our birth is in 1848. It's Patrick Moraz. Oh, yeah, Patrick Moraz, Swiss progressive rock keyboard player. He was with Yes from 1974 to 77, the Relayer album, and the Moody Blues from 1978 to 1991. He's born in Morges, Switzerland, okay? Now, remember, there's 3 different areas in Switzerland. Speak Italian, speak French, and speak German, right? Interesting. So that's all I have for you. Our color is a string of lights at backyard at night. Yep, backyard party lights. And our keyword is prophetic. Keep an eye on that stuff, okay? Keep an eye on where those yods are pointing, because it's going to be very interesting. Appreciate and love every single one of you. Thank you so much for listening. Please stay cool, stay hydrated. I've got a little short on that, and it's not really any tips or anything like that. Just stay inside, stay out of the sunlight. Do not have a tragic sunlight accident like a vampire in a movie, right? That's all I got for you. Today is a 4. With the heat we got, 3. Stay inside. Take care. Appreciate and love you all. Happy astrocatting.